Greetings once again. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. I want to thank you for taking time out once again to view our videos. My topic today focuses on negative press on Tesla, particularly from the Wall Street Journal, and why that is. Bonjour, biggest mistakes come from multiplied by Nancy. Ni hao ma. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. One of the most fascinating aspects of the success Tesla has enjoyed is that there has been, there are a bunch of news sources I keep track of. One of them is Barron's, the Wall Street Journal. I also keep track of, a number of Teslarati. There's Seeking Alpha, for example. And what I notice is that there's a great deal of negative press. And I wanted to review sort of 3 reasons why this is happening and, what you may want to consider doing about it if you're a Tesla fan, owner, investor. So in my past life, I worked at Forbes magazine as a writer, and I also did some work at a PR agency called Hedge. And one of the things that's going on right now is that there's a large number of hedge funds, as well as regular investors that own the stock. But Tesla is one of the most shorted stocks that exists, meaning that there are a lot of people that are both predicting and betting on the stock falling severely. So I've been very amazed to watch the process by which different powerful entities will make an effort to tank the stock as a way to make money on that movement, either up or down, or just the movement itself. So the latest example of that is there's a story we covered in early June, and I'll put a link to it, and it reviewed the fact that Elon Musk recently terminated and replaced the head of the autopilot program. I won't go into those details anymore. I'll let you review that. But what I was fascinated by is the Wall Street Journal on the 24th of August, 2017, ran an article regarding the fact that there are executives leaving. There are, in this case, this executive is highly sought after from Apple, came in to help address a number of the autopilot concerns in the software side that had been not going well, and he's now gone. So I was fascinated because there was another story that the Wall Street Journal ran, and that story focused on the fact that Tesla had crazy parking issues both at headquarters and at the Gigafactory. And then there was pictures of it, and that was the first time. I've been reading the Wall Street Journal for 40 years, and I'd say that's the first time I've ever seen the parking situation at a company make the front page of the journal. So this is a setup to say, why is this? The answer to it is very lucrative. So what happens is that on any company, particularly when it's as volatile as Tesla, there is sort of anticipated news cycles, which is the 2 weeks heading into earnings and the week or so after is when there's the highest volatility of the stock. And so what happens is in the middle of that sort of news run, there's a period there where there's no official news coming out of the company. So as a result, those with enough cash to pay researchers, to pay PR agencies, many of which are former executives from these newspapers, to plant stories that can affect the stock, either positively or negatively. In the case of Tesla, most of the hedge funds are based in New York, so they do have the power to leverage those relationships and the relationship between editors and news entities to actually deliver a move in the stock price, and it's usually down for Tesla. One note you should make is as soon as you hear one of these stories come out, take a look at the stock price, because you'll notice on the negative ones, they're sometimes positive ones, but the positive ones don't hit as big. On the negative story, you'll see the drop. Another variable in my mind is how many dollars is the company in question, in this case Tesla, spending with the news organizations. As you know, Tesla doesn't advertise. They particularly work to get referrals from folks who own the cars as their main marketing method, as well as the stores, etc. Um, the large advertisers, be it GM or Ford or all the other entities that advertise in these publications, can influence the type of coverage that Tesla might do, and hence another reason why we see the negative press constantly. And I'm always blown away because I think it's very poor quality journalism, especially from places like the Wall Street Journal that know better and they're well regarded globally, which is why they can move the stock. The third reason why I believe we have this negative press and it's constant is that there's a sensation that's going on regarding the establishment wants Tesla to fail. Hence, any little contribution that can be made by members of the establishment, like the news media, is a boost to the ambitions of the larger establishment. Um, you know, Tesla / Elon Musk does not do the regular interviews, the regular disclosures that the big establishment firms do. So I believe that you see a negative bias based on entities or individuals not towing the line as they're supposed to. So I just think it's fascinating to watch because one of the aspects of all of this that you should be aware of is that Tesla is an interesting company because it's my belief that of the top 30 people at Tesla, let's call it, um, half to two-thirds of them will not be with the company in the next 2 years. And half of those people will be running large companies that compete with Tesla or whose divisions compete with Tesla over the next 4 or 5 years. You got a lot of really smart people who are multi-talented. And so I fully expect a number of new stories relative to the departure of these executives, only because Tesla, what the difference Tesla is making is significant, and the executives in question are therefore significant. And because they can't get Musk, they've got to get other individuals who understand the thought process and plan with Tesla so they can bake that into their own operations. So this is kind of a minor video, not a mega one, but I do think that if you pay attention to this and you're an investor, you can perhaps play these dips generated by bad news or negative news or fake news as a way to make some money because they're pretty constant and they're fairly, I want to say, well organized, i.e., they're always in the low period of the news cycle when you have maximum impact of something being stated and a large organization being behind it, and it potentially moves the stock slightly. Um, I want to thank you for taking time out. Please like and subscribe. Your Patreon support as well as watching our ads is the way we cover costs, and any support would be appreciated. This is Greg with SFN Insight. Tschüss, mach's gut. Au revoir. Look forward to our next conversation. Have a great day.